Spurge here, and today we are taking a look at these Street and Steel Slant Saddlebags, available no longer at RevZilla.com, but yet they are. So on the table in front of me, you are going to see two different sizes. You're going to have the Street and Steel small slant saddlebags on my right-hand side. These are coming in around the $170 price point. They've got 12 liters of capacity for the individual bag, 24 total liters of capacity. And then on my left-hand side, you have got the Street and Steel large slant saddlebags coming in around the $200 price point. These have 16.5 liters of individual capacity for 33 liters total, and then they've got the extra little pouch on the back of the large bags. Now, this is going to be for you V-twin riders out there riding around on a Kawasaki Vulcan, or you're going the Honda Shadow route, or the American V-twin segment with all of you HD and Indian riders out there. But let's walk through what you can expect with these particular saddlebags. So starting off with the construction. So it's going to be a 3mm full grain buffalo leather. So it's a real beefy, thick leather to this. Holds up really well. You can see there's some dirt and some dust on these from we were riding out around the Las Vegas area. But really what I want to talk about first and foremost is just the construction itself. It really kind of maintains that classic leather look, but you've got some simple little nice to have features, such as underneath the buckles on the outside, there are quick release straps, so you can get in nice and easily and quickly without having to redo the straps themselves. And then when you're taking a look at the actual bags, they do have a quick release zipper. So once you mount them onto the bike, you can easily unsnap the zipper, which hides below the mounting straps, and you can zip these on and off. You can see the bag that we have over on the right-hand side actually has the zipper undone. So this particular bag, you can see what it looks like when it comes off. Nice grab handle at the top. You can take it with you when you get to your hotel or your campground, and you can remove it from the bike if you want. The mounting straps. So when you're looking at mounting this, you can mount it over top of the back passenger seat. You can mount it underneath. We've tried it both ways. Personally, I think if you're going to ride a passenger, you want to put this underneath the seat if possible. And really what that allows you to do is you're going to have these leather straps that are included, and then you're going to have holes in the strap or in the mounting bracket that sits on the top, the flap, and you can go ahead and you can lace this up. I actually have one pulled off the other bags so you can see how we did it. So few nitpicks here. I did find that the holes were a little bit small. We used a little bit of like an awl or a punch, and we kind of stuck it in there. We enlarged the holes a little bit to be able to get the leather more easily through. Now, when we gave that feedback to Street and Steel, they did let us know that they're widening the holes from 5mm to 7mm on the production version, so that should be addressed. And then the leather straps, we did run into a couple of problems where the leather was cut a bit too thin, and that was snapping when we went to pull it tight. Street and Steel did acknowledge that they are beefing up the leather straps that come with this as well, based on some of our feedback. But a nice, easy solution for this is just a black shoelace. It would work really well, and you don't have to worry about it breaking. I like the fact that Street and Steel tried to keep everything leather, tried to keep it really classic in its design. But even as you can see, the leather is a bit hard to tie, unlike a shoelace where you can really ratchet it down nicely. So, for me personally, if this was something I continue to run into a problem with, I would just go with a black shoelace through the top. But again, from what we've been told from Street and Steel, this has been an issue that was resolved. Once you fine-tune this, you can see what I liked about this particular mounting system is that I have this one a little bit mislined up, so I don't have the holes sitting right over top of one another. And what I did that for was it allowed me to kind of fine-tune how the bags were sitting over the arced rear fender of the Street Glide that we were using this on. So just something to note there. The other thing to note too is that when you're picking which bike you want to use these on, you have to be considerate of the turn signals on the back of a lot of HDs and Indians where they're hard mounted. Some of the Japanese cruisers don't have that same problem. So for myself, what I found was that the smaller bags actually work better on the Indian and the Street Glide because of where the turn signal sat. The larger bags work better with the Sportster because this little pouch on the back was butting up against the turn signals on the Street Glide and the Indian. So just something to keep in mind. when you're sizing this up is where your turn signals are located. You might relocate the turn signals or just opt for the smaller bag based on the size of the larger particular piece here. Now from the inside, when we're talking about mounting these, like I said, the bracket itself can either go over top of or under the seat. For most of ours, we mounted it underneath the seat and it worked out really well. And then on the inside of these, you've got these little buckles, and what I will say is that Street & Steel recommends that you use these with a luggage bracket. So if you have a bracket on your bike, it just helps to have it sit away from the paint. You don't have to worry about scratching the paint, and it gives a little bit more of a tie-down point. What I will say is that we use these on all three of our bikes. None of them had luggage mounting brackets, so we were able to use them without that. Just keep in mind where your shocks are sitting. You don't want to have to impede the performance of the shock at all by getting the bag caught in the shock. So what I found that worked out really well is that it includes these little straps, and I was able to find hard parts around the swing arm and the frame rail that I was able to kind of lash these down, and the bags fit nice and secure. The only note here is that when you are tying these down to either the swing arm or the frame rail, like I said with the suspension, you want to make sure you don't get it in the way of any moving parts. But despite the fact that Street & Steel says that you want to be able to mount these with a luggage rack, I was able to do it without. The only other nitpick that I did have with this is you can see on the larger bags, the leather straps are already starting to stretch out. They're at its maximized point here. It would have been nice just to be able to have one extra hole, just to be able to really kind of tightly pull these down. Not that that's a huge issue. With a leather punch, you can easily add an extra hole if you need to. But once these bags are filled out, we just have these stuffed right now. It'll probably take up some of that additional slack. So taking a look at the inside, the one thing I want to say is that you are going to have just these two leather fold-over flaps to help keep anything from flying out as you open the bag. And then really it's just one large compartment. Like I said, you can see that ours is stuffed up right now with a little bit of paper to help it hold its shape. But the whole thing is made out of full grain buffalo, and that includes the strap mounts itself. I like the fact that you get the look of the buckles, which is a bit more classic, but you get the ease of being able to snap in and out. But for the most part, what you're seeing here is an affordable entry-level bag from Street & Steel that can also be used in a bit more of a premium function. This isn't going to give you any kind of security like you would get with color-matched, hard bags that are, found on some more of the premium offerings. But if you want to add luggage to your cruiser, you want to maintain a little bit of that more, retro styling and classic look, these are an excellent option that utilize full grain leather, and they have really great styling, accoutrements as well. So there's a lot of folks out there that are utilizing Street & Steel, and if you want to hear more about what they have to say, you can always click the info button on your desktop or mobile device. You can read other rider reviews from folks that are out there putting these bags through their paces. If you have more questions for any one of our customer service reps as to which luggage is right for you, your motorcycle, your riding style, never hesitate to reach out. They can walk you through all the different options available for your motorcycle as well as your budget. And thank you for joining us today for this look at the Street & Steel Slant Saddlebags. I'm Spurge. Enjoy the ride.